Hi, I'm Daisy Whitney reporting at the Digitas Newfront event, and I'm here with one of my favorite people. I can say that. I don't have to hide that. I'm here with Jordan Levin, who's the CEO of Generate, a multimedia production shop. We've talked for many, many stories in the past. Briefly give us a sense of what you were doing here today, because I understand you have a new show that's going to be coming out very soon.
It is. We weren't here to talk about that today. We were really here to be part of the conference. We were invited to present at what they call their soapbox sessions, which is an opportunity to mix and mingle with brands and various agents who may be representing some of those brands. So that's why we were here.
So did you do any deals at it today then?
Yes, of course. We got one done 5 minutes into the room.
That's what this is all about, getting ad deals done. But seriously, do you have a sense, though, that that there will be business that gets written for you out of this show? I mean, are you having the type of conversations with brands today that could lead to an integrated brand deal for a web show or a TV show or whatever it is a couple months down the road?
I think today's event is more about a dialogue in terms of getting some thought leadership around Digitas and the role that they play in pushing the market forward. And there's no doubt that the market is heading in this direction, and yet brands seem to be not investing heavily enough in this space to nurture and catalyze it to the degree that the creative community's been investing, to the degree that the venture community's been investing, or the tech community's investing. And brands are a really necessary piece to make this whole...
They hold the purse strings.
They hold the purse strings. Now, I have no doubt that brands will invest in digital content because they will follow audiences, and audiences are migrating to digital, not abandoning television, but increasingly experiencing content across platforms, of which digital becomes a very intimate, more efficient way to reach who you want to reach. But at the same time, the question really will start to unfold as, who is it that they're having that conversation and dialogue with? Are they having that dialogue with the talent and the content creators? Are they dialoguing through more of the traditional middlemen in the form of studios and distributors? It's up to them which role they want to play. But there's a lot of independent producers here today who offer them the opportunity to have that dialogue with talent. And the question becomes, a year from now, 2 years from now, will that number be as great? If they don't act, I don't think it will, because certainly the number this year is smaller than it was last year.
So is progress being made, though? I mean, we've talked about this in the past. Is your frustration about brands not getting on board as much as others are? Is that just sort of an economic reality, that they're not interested in spending as much money as you want them to spend?
I think no one's asking them to put a lot of money at risk. I think the question is, can they activate some money now? Not be talking about fourth quarter 2010. I don't know pure play digital companies that are in the production business. That's going to be a struggle to wait until 2010. These aren't big budgets that are being requested, but I think there has to be some key learnings that form. Brands were critical in the development of entertainment in other mediums, television, radio. Brands should have a seat at the table where they're a primary stakeholder and primary voice in how this new medium emerges, along with creators, along with distributors. And to the degree that there's a dialogue, there certainly is one. To the degree that there's action in the form of actual spending on original entertainment or original content rather than extensions of content that exist primarily in traditional media, that, I think, is not happening to the degree that it probably should.
Okay, so we know that digital studios are struggling, and I know that you're not a pure digital studio. You have interest in TV, film, publishing, and so on, as well as talent management. We've seen 60 Frames go under. We've seen Mania TV go under. What are sort of your 2 or 3 tips of what you need to do to survive for the Revision 3s, the next new networks, and and obviously Generate, because you're clearly playing in digital as well?
Well, I think you have to recognize, it changes every day. So you pose that question like I'm an expert and I have no idea. But
the answer will be different tomorrow.
It could be. But I believe there's 2 areas. There's either branded entertainment or there's working largely for license fees, unless you want a deficit finance. I don't think deficit financing is a sustainable model. So then you get into needing to work with brands, which probably is going to be more effective if you're working backwards from what do brands want, what are their marketing objectives, and how do you create content around that. That's a long process of engaging in that conversation and then learning and trying to ideate and execute against that. The second model is more of a traditional license fee model, which is what we're doing with various studios and various other distributors as well.
You have a deal with 20th Century Fox?
We have a deal with 20th Century Fox on the television side, but for example, the project that you're referring to is with, is with a studio and a different distributor that we're operating in more of a traditional model. So I think you have to work both ways.
Now talk about, you've got something that you're going to be launching later this week or announcing later this week. Share with us the details on that.
Well,
and we won't run it until you say it's okay.
That's right. Shran Magnuson would kill me over at Warner.
And me too. Don't worry about that.
So Warner Brothers.
We'll be editing this.
Warner Brothers is announcing it. But it's a really ambitious series I'm very excited about. And we're producing a series called The Lake. And it is going to be distributed on the WB.com. So it's a bit of a homecoming for me. And it's directed by Jason Priestley and features a cast of about 14, both adults and teens. And it is.
What's the show about?
The show's about three families whose homes share a cove on a lake where they vacation every summer, and it's about the whole heightened emotions and heightened sensibility that comes along with summer. The ability to redefine yourself and live out what you strive for during those 9 months when you're working. So it's,
now, do we have a launch date and any advertisers attached?
We do have an advertiser attached, which I can't speak to, but we're performing various extensions of this series with a larger metaverse that'll leverage some social media tools and applications. And at the same time, we're doing some product integration as well as some sponsorship. And I'm waiting for a definitive date, but it should be sometime in August, and we'll probably be releasing multiple episodes in a week. And the episodes are longer than the standard digital series. We're talking about more 7 to 10 minute episodes, and we're trying to engage people more with character and a sense of place and emotion rather than, very outrageous story turns and plot twists. So it's our hope that if people are watching longer series online because they care about the characters, that they'll care about these characters. It's written by two wonderful young writers named Marcy Ulin and Meredith Lavender, and they've just done a wonderful job creating a voice for a show that feels authentic. And it's our hope that this is the start of property that could continue to be developed further, both online and maybe even on another platform at some
No, that's
point.
what I was going to ask you. Since the episodes are a little bit longer, is this something that could be groomed and make the jump to TV?
It's certainly a world that I think can make the transition, and the characters can make the transition.